Spencer Davis.
Yes.
How are you, man?
Jamal Courtney.
Jamal.
I'm feeling fantastic, man. How are you?
Hell yeah, I'm doing well.
Brother, man.
Busy week. Yeah. So we're trying this out, man. This is a new experience for both of us.
Number
one. Yeah.
First time.
Jeez.
All right.
I was thinking of like coming up with like an intro. Like there'll be music that will come in, right?
Okay.
And then it'll fade out, and then kind of like a radio show, right? Like obviously, right?
Yeah.
But then I'll have like a line that I say like every time, right? And
Yes.
I'll be like, my friends,
Oh, nice.
welcome to the bar. Or
Oh,
Brother Man and
love it.
the Renaissance. Awesome.
Okay, fantastic. I fuck with that.
And it'll change, right? Because if it's being the first episode, then I don't even know if this full episode's gonna see the light of day. I'll be perfectly honest with you. But
I think it absolutely should.
It should?
It's like this is not Instagram. We should be able to show our fucking attempts and being authentic and real.
Sure.
And like that's the whole reason I wanted to do this.
but
with
like,
you.
who's gonna want to watch that though? That's the thing.
Fuck them.
That'll.
I mean, damn.
No, you're good. You're good.
Forget them. Because, I mean, like, this is for our fun and enjoyment.
That's true.
It's like their opinions are secondary to me personally. So it's like, if we're doing it for somebody else, I feel like a slave, low key. Like,
Can't be having that.
Yeah.
Can't be having the one guy on the show feel like a slave.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Like, we should be able to have that type of humor and that type of
Sure.
communication, like a normal conversation we would normally have. Because it's like a year from now, it would be like, wow, look at the progress we've made from now
True.
to then. And it's like, damn, I wish we would have put it out. Nobody wants to see the whole process after it's already done, you know.
Maybe we put the whole thing out on YouTube and then just don't tell anyone, and then
you know,
then it like lives on that account. People can go back retroactively
Yep.
if they want to see it.
If they want to see it,
Yeah.
like Kevin Samuels or something. It's like before the whole your average at best thing. It's like, who is this guy? Who's this jerk? And then it's like you go and see he's been doing this stuff for years and never got any traction. But I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves. Are we gonna do?
We are a little ahead of ourselves, yeah. So,
Okay.
So, yeah, true. We're gonna do the thing. So, so for our intensive purposes, so we talked about doing this podcast, Spencer and I, and
Nice.
or the Renaissance, I should say.
Nice. Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot the Renaissance.
But that's just a name. We don't have to like unless.
You can address me as Spencer. Like it, like for the name because it's catchy and whatnot. It's like I'm cool with it for that. But like if people just been like, it's the Renaissance, I'm like, that sounds very douchey. But like for the hashtag ability, like I like it a lot.
Okay, yeah, no, that's great.
And I can tell the story of how that name came up again too. So
yeah,
it's
I
like-
mean, go ahead. Like let's go ahead and do that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm being
Before
a
the
giver, or yeah.
and
you
the
take
doorknobs of conversation. So the Renaissance thing came from actually we went to Texas Roadhouse last Sunday, and I was telling you, like, you know, I'm gonna give you the same compliment that I received from a friend named Randall some years ago, and he told me that I was a true Renaissance man, and I was like, huh, like what does that mean? Like it sounds so grandiose. And he was like, you know, you just have like this thirst for knowledge and growing, especially like creatively, like comedy, music, like I was interested in photography, like writing stories and stuff like that. And I did most of those things like decently well. And I was like, okay, cool. I like that. That's tight. And then that's when we started discussing like show names. And I was like, I thought about calling it Brother Man because that's your whole shtick.
Yeah, I get that. I don't really know when that started happening, but I think it was after the post office because someone came up to me and was like, what's going on, Brother Man? And I'm like, oh, I'm Brother Man now. Like,
nice.
This is my thing now. Like, and so I would refer to my friends as Brother Man because it was easy, right? It wasn't like, what's up, dude? What's up, guy? You know, like it was just Brother Man, you know. And then one of the girls, I would say like, what's up, Brother Man? And they're like, I'm not Brother Man. And I'm like, oh, Sister Woman. So then you're Sister Woman now. And so I would do that. And so like, I guess the Brother Man stuck, and then I put it on Twitter and Instagram, and then people started addressing my gifts and stuff. They'd be like, to Brother Man. I'm like,
Nice.
oh, dude, that's sick, you know. So
like it's catchy that like it's almost like you gave yourself the nickname, but it like when you have the backstory of it, it's like somebody else said it to you, and it's like,
right.
I'm gonna take your whole MO and use this, and like now this is my shtick, and I like it for the show because it's like I feel like just off tops they're gonna think obviously, Brother Man,
Yeah,
like
that. I didn't even think of that. So that's gonna be funny. Is that people will listen? There's folks who will listen to it without seeing us.
Right.
And so then they'll think that the black guy is Brother Man and that the white guy is the Renaissance.
Right.
And then we just flip the script on them when they watch it.
Exactly.
It's like, yes, that's so
like,
much fun.
Like, what do the coloreds know about the Renaissance?
No.
If I didn't mention this already, I did comedy. Like, I performed on stages, so I feel like this episode is really to introduce ourselves, introduce our like friendship dynamic, like how we met each other, all that shit, the backstory of it all.
And I think that's a good way to do it. I think because you had just mentioned comedy, and so like we've had you over to do some comedy before, you know. In we had a roast one time. We had a projector night, like one of those like
yeah,
and
the
so
PowerPoint night,
right? And so like it's always been a thing where I'm like, I have to have Spencer here because he's gonna fucking kill it, you know, and everyone's gonna laugh, and then but then I find that, you know, with comedy comes controversy, right?
Yes.
And so like there are topics that are like, you know, not everyone is the most secure in,
right?
And so, or like, you know, making fun of groups of people, which like, you know, that's how it goes. And you know, it's just Spencer does not hate anyone, like, or any group of people, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I mean, you know, hate is a strong word. It's like I might not just hate you for what you are. I might hate you because of your ideologies. So like you being a person existing, no, I don't hate you, but what you present to me, it's like it might contradict with me agreeing with your existence. You know,
True.
It's like I don't think this type of person should be around.
Okay.
So I mean, but all right, can we do the thing now?
Right. What I meant to say with all that was that
Okay.
sorry, I keep getting derailed. I derailed myself. I wasn't blaming you for that. Is that because you are a comedy humorous individual, sometimes, you know, and comedy is all about like place, right? Like knowing your audience. And so like sometimes people will take offense to what you say and they may not come to you about it, which like that's just part of the territory and you just got to roll with the punches. But like, I want everyone to understand, like when we're joking, man, like very rarely, like I think our viewers, and I'd like to be able to accumulate viewers like that understand what it is we're trying to convey. Like you'll know when we're serious and you'll know when we're like making a joke, and then that's also up to us to like clarify that too, perhaps. Like I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, perhaps this is the last thing I will say. That's what art is for. To me, any type of like a lot of the entertainment and industry things now, it is art. It is an art form, whether it's music, like painting. These are all just different mediums. So it's like you're not gonna go to Childish Gambino and be like, "What was the album about? This is what I thought it was about." It's like, bro, go listen to it again. Have your own opinion. So it's like it's up to you to intently watch or listen if you're that interested in it, and then for you to decipher, okay, is this, you know, a genuine statement? Is this a joke? Is this satire? It's like, it's not up to us to spoon feed you the questions and the answers and to tell you how to feel about it. Like, trash.
No, I totally agree. So in part of doing that, we're going to introduce ourselves in a means, and we might do this. We'll see how this goes.
Okay.
We're going to bring an item, and Spencer tasked me with this.
Yes.
which was awesome. Spencer was like, let's bring a physical item into the space, and then let that be a talking point, and let it also be not. He didn't say it as eloquently as this. Like this is my flowery language that I'm instilling on Spencer, but. Let it not only show what our interests are, but be a portal into why it is that we like it, you know. And so, I think that was a really great idea. So, if you want to start, Spencer.
Yes, I will start, and I will also start with.
Oh boy.
drinks, and I have the bottle opener ring. So, shit. Here we go. My friend. This is how you start off.
Oh man, this is so much.
A JC party is not officially started until he makes the speech.
The speech.
Yeah, with my friends.
Here's to you, my friend.
Welcome to the bar.
Welcome to the bar. Spencer knew I had Frisbee after this event today too, so he's starting me off nice and dehydrated.
As good friends should. But the item I brought is this figurine. This was actually a housewarming gift from one of my closest friends. We call him Q, and I've told
Shout
this.
out to Q.
Yes, I've talked about this several times because this character here is like a core memory of my mantra for life, and eventually will be a tattoo on my body. And it comes from this anime, Rurouni Kenshin. And this character here is probably my all-time favorite villain, Makoto Shishio. And so he was like the greatest swordsman in that series. And the way he died, arguably, he's still better than Rurouni Kenshin because it took him and Saito to fight him, which he handled both of them, but because the power of the pen, he died in a whole like combustion type of way. But the reason he is so prominent to me is because in the show, when he got introduced, there was a kid he came across, and this kid was being abused by his family because his mother had died. So he was like with his aunts and uncle, and they made him do all these chores and like made him sleep outside. He got food scraps, all types of abuse pretty much. And so the kid was contemplating killing himself, and Makoto Shishio came across this kid. And this kid was telling his whole woe is me story. And the kid says, it's my fault why these things are happening to me. And to shorten it, he says, you're wrong. It is your weakness that's why you deal with this type of treatment. And the thing that stuck with me was this specific phrase here. He says, if you're strong, you live. If you're weak, you die. And he threw this kid a sword and walked off. And so at that point, he empowered this kid to make a decision. The kid could have still killed himself, or he could face his abuse, his problem head on. And what that kid decided to do was he slaughtered his family. And then he followed this man and became he was like, I will protect you. Like, you instilled this power in me. You didn't know me. You gave me the power of a choice. And I did that. And so when I heard that at the single digit age is when I've seen this anime. Rurouni Kenshin is very old, like an older anime.
I'm kind of like exposing myself here. I watch a good amount of anime.
Okay.
I lived in Japan for a little bit.
Nice.
I've never heard of this thing. I've never seen this guy. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Rurouni Kenshin. He's the red hair.
Kenshin.
He has the X scar on his face. You might have heard the Batu-san.
I guess I'm gonna have a new anime to watch.
Yeah. Oh man, I love it. All time favorite. But from the age of when I heard that, and I guess it might just be being a boy. It's like, if you're strong, you live. If you're weak, you die. And it's actually on the first mixtape, like, music I ever put out. I had the soundbite of that.
It. Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
I took it as I told myself as a boy, I'm like, I'm strong and I want to be strong. So it's like, I can't die. So from that moment, I was like, okay, well, if I die, then I'm weak. So that automatically took suicide off the table for me. And so that's why I resonate so strongly with this villain, because it's, well, if I kill myself, I'm weak, and I'm not weak So that's not even an option for me. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why I'm still here, like from this cartoon or whatnot. And
this art.
Yeah, this art is beautiful. I love it. It's like, yeah.
That's wow. Like we're going straight deep, like right away.
Yeah, I thought it was fitting for episode 1. So then it's like in future episodes and whatnot, I've given you a very core of my being and my way of thought. So it's like, to me, he took away the victim complex. So it's like, you have an option, you have a choice, and sometimes all of the options and choices that are available to you are awful. Keep getting abused by your family and live through that, kill yourself or slaughter your family. And it's like, you still have a choice. And it's like, he chose what he thought was right.
So he's the villain. He's not the main character.
Yeah, he is not.
He's like the antagonist too?
He's like the final antagonist, I believe, in the series.
Okay. So he's the big boss.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the child that ends up, murking his family.
Yeah.
Do we like that character also, or is he kind of like?
I like him. I like every character. In the show.
Right. Okay.
Honestly.
Of course. Like I'm sure every character is like gray and like no one's like truly a good guy unless it's like a shonen anime.
It is a shonen anime.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Fascinating. I haven't heard of it before, or maybe I have and I just don't recognize it from the visual. But right. Well, we don't condone killing your family. Like if your family is shitty, then you don't got to kill them. Like you can just leave them alone.
I don't condone violence.
Right. But I do want to talk to you about that. So like, but not like condoning violence per se. But you were talking about like so the antithesis of what you took from that was, if I correct me how I'm saying this. If I'm weak, I'm dead, or if I die, I'm weak.
Yes.
But if I'm not weak, then I live on, right?
Yes.
Basically. So like that's such an extreme thought, right?
Yes.
Like if you're because there are plenty of people and not just people, right? Like any kind of organism that lives, right? So like plants, insects, whatever, like anything that has life. There are weak organisms, or we'll just say people, right? Let me stop trying to get something. There are organisms that are weak and that aren't like the apex of life, right?
Right.
But they're not dead,
right?
But they're still weak, right? So like you're looking at it from a sense of like a mentality thing. Like I'm not going to become a victim. I'm going to overcome whatever is stopping me from being the best version of myself that I can, or in this case, maybe perhaps successful in life.
Right.
I guess it's open to interpretation.
Yeah, I mean I'm fine with the term extreme too. Like it's okay to have a black and white thing for certain things. It's yes or no. There's no room for anything in between, because like I said, me hearing this so young, I just took it as, if I die, I am weak. So it's like killing myself is admitting to me that I am weak. So, I empathize with anybody who has had a loss or anything, or family that had been a victim to suicide or whatnot. But this is my thing, how I interpret it, and this is what kept me around. So it's like, why would it be wrong for me to share my experience or my thought process?
Oh, I wasn't trying to tell you were wrong. No. I'm just also thinking like, because that philosophy is like the fact that that's what you need or got out of that, or that helped you get through a certain time. Love that. Like that's awesome. I'm thinking about like, first and foremost for myself, because that's what we do, right? Like we hear something, then we relate it to ourselves, and then we create an opinion. So then I'm thinking like, okay, if I were to adopt that would be very like absolutist, right? Like, but I'm also thinking of that example where I'm like, well, there are still things that are weak that still live, and that can like upset people, like maybe even like like you all have someone in your head where you think like, this person is a weak person, and I don't want to use the word parasite, but like here we are, right? Like they're living off of someone, or like,
Yes.
abusing someone's hospitality, kindness, love, that sort of thing, which is not cool. We don't like that. Like, and they just continue. They when I think of weakness, what I'm thinking of is like the inability to adapt, or the inability to grow.
Right.
And so like when you have that individual in your head, you can say that about that person.
Right.
Like, this person continues to make the same exact mistakes every time. I'm that person sometimes,
right.
Especially with money, like
Yes.
it's like, oh man, I got a lump sum, and now I'm going to celebrate, instead of like, maybe I don't have to spend the rest of that miserable time being miserable and, going by paycheck to paycheck. If I just, didn't get too excited over myself and like had some discipline, or adapted, or grew and changed. So like to think like, and maybe I'm getting off base here, but my thought is that like there can what you're saying also be the extreme, like can it also be negative in a way that it's like it's sorry. Can it I don't want to use the word toxic, but it's like it's such a good word to say, like can it be toxic to have this mindset of like if I'm like I have to be strong all the time. Yes. Otherwise I'd be dead. Oh, and then you're just like, yeah, sure.
Certainly. Like it can be I'm
not trying to be intransigent. I'm just trying to like
No, it definitely can be interpreted like that. And as I've grown, because like I said, this was something I heard from a single digit age, and now I'm 29.
Single digit age.
Yeah.
Like, what, 8, 9, something like that?
Yeah, probably.
Younger?
Like it was on Toonami. That's how I seen the show.
That's why I'm confused why I don't know. Maybe I do know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm sure if you seen the main character, you would be like, "Oh, I've seen this guy before." Okay. Yeah. It was on Toonami, and it definitely it can be toxic, I guess, which is fine. But as I've evolved, that saying has also evolved, because I guess it comes from your own interpretation of what strength is, because power isn't limited to like physical capabilities. Like, power comes from here too. Yeah. It's like, granted, I might be physically stronger than you or whatever, and if we got into a physical altercation, there's no chance.
I'm dead in that scenario. I'm dead.
However, your charisma to me is insane. If you could get people to rally behind you, it's like, what kind of threat am I at that point? If you have like 5 people willing to, like, let's say, die for you and your safety and your protection, it's like, oof, now who's the weak one? And it's like, if you make that apparent to me, then it's like, now you could get something else out of me. So it's like, the strength isn't physical only. It's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual,
it's contextual.
Yeah. So it's like, I feel like we're going very deep.
No, this is great.
So early.
Yeah.
I feel like
you're the one who brought it to the table.
I feel like even if you went into like a religious context, if you believe in like a heaven or hell, if you're strong and unfolding in your faith, like you'll be granted eternal bliss. And it's like how would that be toxic, I guess, or why would you see
I can tell you that could be toxic.
Being toxic, and I guess like, not necessarily using any type of scriptures or anything, but like if you just believe in a heaven or hell, and it's like, well, if I'm a good person and I'm good to people and I believe in this will be the result. And I will not allow anybody else's opinion to stray me away from this, because this is the ultimate goal. It's like I feel like you need people like that are just strong in their constitution, because it's like, call it toxic or not, but then it's like I have a clear-cut idea of who you are as a person, versus if you can be swayed by any and every new information to where it's like, now this is my standpoint. Oh, I got this information. Now this is my standpoint. And then it's some information back from the other side. Now this is my standpoint.
Well, we should want to do that, right? Like, at least for certain subjects, right? So like for science, if I'm given new information, then like oh, okay, we believed this because based on this information, but now this new information suggests otherwise. And so like now I should be like, oh yeah, that is there's very little like well, now I'm getting into things that I don't fully understand. But,
I got you.
But like so gravity, right? Use that as an example. Okay. We like it's the law of gravity, right? But it's really not a law of gravity. It's a theory of gravity.
Okay.
Because we can't prove we don't have the means to prove it yet, right? But we can prove that it's worked consistently since we've been measuring it, right? And like I could do it right now. I can drop that Corona bottle and then it'll work the same way every time I do it.
Like Isaac Newton and the apple.
100%, right? Exactly. And so, but if new information were to disprove that, then I would be more, lean to adapt to that new information. Now, when going back to what you were saying about the because you're talking about like fortitude and like strength in like a belief almost like you mentioned faith and I want to put that to the side for now, but
I got you.
There is that's right, there is power in that, like someone who is devout can be dangerous, right? So like if what you're saying, where I have so much faith in this one thing, I have the fortitude, nothing's going to falter me because I am so set into this. That is power, yes. Yeah. It's not weakness. Well, maybe not in that context. Yeah. But it can be weakness if it's like you reject something that is nature-based and is like doesn't give a shit about like what you believe, and it's like, the scientist said that a tsunami is coming, and it's like, there hasn't been a tsunami here in 100 years, and we're not having a tsunami, and then like you believe that so strongly, which is again can be a good thing, but then it's toxic or dangerous. I should say dangerous when there's a looming threat that is real, and whether how outrageous it sounds, and it's coming, and like you're strong, man. You're a strong man. Like I don't know why I'm imagining someone with a sword, but like
probably because of this guy.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, so that guy has a sword and he's strong, and he's like, I am not weak. I'm not dead because I'm alive. I'm strong. And so then this tidal wave is like okay, oh shit, So like he can't stop the tidal wave, But so that was just an example of like how that could be bad. And I'm interested because a couple of months, maybe a year ago, I had loaned you a book to read.
Yes.
I'm gonna butcher this name. God damn it.
Things fall. No.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Things fall apart.
Yeah.
Yep, by
Conquo.
Yes. By Chinua Achebe. And if you haven't read it, I definitely recommend it. It was a good read. It's not very long. The African names can be confusing sometimes because they're long, and like sometimes they have one or two names for the same character. You did it in Russian literature, you can do it with African, I promise. It's really good. Chinua Achebe outlines this character named Okonkwo, who you said, who is the tribal chief.
I remember that.
Yes, and he is this personification of masculinity and power, and like weakness means death, right? And so like this dude is like murking motherfuckers if they talk to him wrong, or if like they like show weakness of any kind, like and he is brutal about it, and it's incredible, but he cannot stop the tidal wave no matter how strong he is or how long his beliefs are, because white colonialism is coming through, baby. And it's coming hard.
Yes, he cannot defeat that.
No, not by himself anyway.
No, not at all. And I mean, like, even with that, that's a thing of that's the mental thing, like, as with growth and change and whatnot, I believe the only constant is change. So it's like not seeing it so, I guess it still is black and white, but it's like building on black and white of what strength is. So then it's like, okay, if I'm going to just stay exactly the same, that means I can't grow either. So it's like, I can't just be physically strong. I also have to be mentally strong. And it's like, that takes building. That takes taking in new information, taking information from people you don't like or don't agree with and whatnot, and then you actually listen to it and process it and then be like, okay, is there any weight to this? So like this is why language is fun, because you can pretty much, the power of words, you can make anything almost sound like anything else. So you use those, like, I feel like the way you were describing it is almost like being stubborn and like in your own ways. But it's like, if I dedicated, put all my devotion into my health, like my physical health, it's like, well, which
you do.
I put a ton into it.
I wish I was more disciplined like you. Yeah.
Here we are. Like, I fold and whatnot. There's things that I allow that do not directly help or add to my goals and whatnot. But it's like that type of dedication, like, geez, so many tangents, like dating wise and whatnot. Like in recent years, like I've met so many great women and whatnot, but it's been like, you're great, we do things for each other, but you will not come before me working, like making money for myself, because it's just me. At the end of the day, I have to take care of myself. No one else is gonna do it for you. Exactly. Yeah. And like,
no one has your back like you do.
Yeah, and pretty much my health. So no matter what avenue, like this really the start of this whole health journey and whatnot was when I picked up Ultimate Frisbee with you. That's when I was at my heaviest of all time, 309 pounds. And I just seen you posting this on Instagram. And I was like, man, that looks tight. And welcomed me with open arms. And I was like, damn, I want to be better at this. Like, I don't want to be a burden to whoever I play with.
Sure.
So,
that's a big fear for anyone, like starting a new sport.
Yeah.
Especially a team sport. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, like whoever I dated, it's like whatever it was at the time period, it's like, okay, work, Ultimate Frisbee, you. Then it was work, boxing, you. Then it was work, rugby, you. Like, the best you could probably be is number 3 on the list of priorities. Because clearly I'm doing the things that make me attractive to you. So if I put you above those things, I think naturally you would just lose attraction. So it's like, I have to stay, like, my resolve has to stay strong in these things. Because then even if I do lose you, it's like, I have these things that will feed into me, and then you will receive the overflow. So it's like, I have to fill myself up and overflow it, and then you get it. And it's just like, I'm getting so much, and I have this pride behind it that it's like, you talk to other bitches and it's like, God, you got a good man. And it's like, hell yeah, that's a great feeling.
Hell yeah, man. So if one wants to get into this anime, like, what should they, like you said, it was on Toonami. So
yes.
Is it on like Crunchyroll and we're not sponsored or anything.
Yeah.
I just want to know, so that, because I'm going to go look it up.
Okay. Honestly, I couldn't tell you, because if you haven't forgotten, I don't have
Is that internet. The last time? Oh, that's right.
I don't have internet, cable, or Wi-Fi, any of that at my house.
At his house, yeah.
So it's like, it's very rare I watch any program.
We're talking about discipline. This guy over here is like, oh yeah, by the way, cut me off from society.
Yeah.
Like I'm off the grid, burning his social security card. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure it would be on Crunchyroll, probably.
Say the name again for it.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the last time I watched it, I actually had it on DVD.
Oh, you had it on DVD?
Yeah, okay. I borrowed it from Q.
Cool. Yeah. Hey, shout out to Q.
Yeah,
Full
for the
circle.
figure and the
okay. So he got you the figure because you liked it, or like.
Yeah,
I guess you guys were you guys friends that early?
Yeah, we've been friends like the same amount of time as us, which we'll get into that.
Okay,
how we met, But yeah, this is my thing. Like, I feel like this has been like not a monologue, but like I feel like we've been focused on my thing for a long time.
I think that helps us keep us on track.
Yeah.
So Thank you for bringing that in, man. I really appreciate you sharing too. Like that was really, really deep.
Yes. Thank you.
Cool. So I guess we'll do mine then.
Yes. What do you have? What did you bring in?
Mine is almost, it's wild. It's wild how it's almost the antithesis of what you brought.
Oh, nice.
It's like a foil because you brought something that like was like from when you were young. It had such a profound impact on the way you think, and there's like, that's awesome. My thing is kind of like, I read this last week. I found out about this last week. And I'm just like, I'm just going to talk about it because one is, I feel like it's interesting enough to bring up and talk about. And then also the way that let me just get into it. Okay, I'm going to pull it up. So we have
a book.
We got a book, man. Big surprise, JC.
Nerd. No, not really.
But
okay, what is it?
We got Enter the Blue by Dave Chris Holm.
Okay.
And I did not know about this artist beforehand, but I did watch some interviews of his. And I was in the store. I was in Barnes & Noble, and I was getting a gift for a friend. And so my go-to gift is the Saga series.
Oh, okay.
Because like, there's never been a person who I didn't give the first edition to that didn't like get into it like after that, So, and I always love. I think if you can give someone a book versus whether it's like words or it's graphic novel or even manga, like any of that stuff, like that's doing something to your brain that a phone's not going to do for you, that a movie's not going to do for you,
right?
Or like a video game. Well, maybe a video game would be more ideal, but there's something about like being able to put it on a shelf and like it's in your brain, and like we just talked about Okonkwo in Things Fall Apart, and like how like I feel like stories like that can do so much for a person. So anyway, so I saw this on the shelf and it really like stuck out to me. One, because the imagery, as you can see, has a musician on it. And we're musicians, and so like we feel a kinship to that. And I always wondered, like, man, how do you convey the power and magic of music in a medium that is silent, right? And so like
this man's poetic.
Oh, come on, man, like that's not even like I'm just wondering how like it grabbed me, right? Like I was like, how do you do that? And it also reminded me of Soul. Did you ever see Soul?
Yes, that's immediately what I thought when I seen the cover.
Right. And so I watched Soul. I remember when Soul came out, and I thought that movie was going to be a jazz movie, and it had jazz in it. Don't get me wrong, but it was way more about the soul idea, and they leaned more into that. And I was like, man, I really wanted this to be more about jazz. I really wanted it to be more about that. That was more of like a device to get the plot going.
Right.
And so this is not Soul. So this is actually, this is everything I wanted Soul to be.
Okay.
Right. So basically we followed the steps of this young lady. She went to the Berklee School of Music. I think she went to a big school in New York, right?
Okay.
For music. And so you open with her trying to perform at Carnegie Hall for a jazz or whatever. I don't know if it's Carnegie Hall. I'm just adding stuff in. So this is my experience.
Right.
So what I did was let me finish the synopsis. So she chokes on stage, right? And she has her rival killing it, like next prodigy, already getting signed by Blue Note Records or Blue whatever. And she's like, damn, I can't do it. And she has her mentor, who she lives with at the time, and he's telling her like, you gotta do your own thing. That's what jazz is. Jazz isn't mistakes. Jazz is like several mistakes in a row and then still going with it, which is an excellent metaphor for life, by the way. Yes. Like it's just a series of mistakes, and you just keep going, and and you make it work, right? And jazz historically, if you know, has and I'm saying this for the audience, I'm not saying this specifically for you, but
I'm the audience too. I like your words.
Very good, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I did not plan this. I didn't write this down or anything. The history of jazz is kind of like the punk rock music to classical, right? It's like classical has all these rules and everything has to be done in a certain way to be correct, and jazz is like, fuck all that, dude. Right. We're gonna do our own thing, and it's gonna be awesome. And it's like, it's just punk rock basically, or like the original punk rock, if you will. So she has trouble with that because she's like, I'm never gonna be as good. She has that self-doubt. she was she didn't get the sword from this dude. You know, she's like, she's weakness. She's a victim, right? And so eventually, years go by, and her relationship with her mentor has been distanced, right? And then he invites her back to go see him perform. He's playing the stand-up bass, you know. He's like doom doom doom, and like again, this is like, it's silent, so like you're kind of like putting all that stuff in, right? And so he collapses on stage, and you think it's like a heart attack or something. And so she goes up there, and she's taken to the hospital, and he goes into a catatonic state, so he's like in a coma. Come to find out that she takes out the trumpet again because she like put it away for so long. And so she starts playing, and then because she's playing, she gets transported into this world, and it's called the Blue, right? Nice. And she finds him in there, and he's like, I gotta find my wife. She's like, no, you gotta come back. Like your body is like dying here. Like you gotta come back. He's like, no. I'll see you when I see you. I gotta find so and so. And so then she's transported back to our world, and she's like, man, now I gotta go find him. I gotta get back there, get him out, and through the power of music, through the power of jazz. And so pretty cool, right? Like that's fun.
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, dude, is this a metaphor for purgatory? Like,
so I don't think so, because it's more in line with soul.
Okay.
Because soul is like when you reach this epitome of like performance, you get in the zone, right? Yeah. The blue is the zone for them. Right?
Okay.
And so like
nice.
She's constantly trying to find ways to get back into the blue, and she does a few times, but each time it's kind of like a Lewis Carroll's Christmas Story, where like she sees a different ghost of jazz past, right? And so she's talking to Louis Armstrong, and she's talking to the guy who's on, like, they portray him on Big Mouth, and yeah, I watched Big Mouth. Jordan Peele plays him. The
fucking the guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Damn, this is gonna bug me now.
I'm such a poser. We'll edit this out. I want to say Baron something.
Man, I'm about to fuck it. I'm about to look it up.
It's about to be right here. Art Blakey is in it, but that's not who I'm talking about. Yeah, Art Blakey is in it, and then there's another.
The Ghost of Duke Ellington.
Duke, not Baron.
There we
Duke.
go.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Duke Ellington.
That was gonna bother me.
I'm so sorry, guys. I should have known that, but. So it's kind of like Christmas Carol, where she's like learning all these different things from these different jazz musicians, and like there'll be times where she's like as tall as that figure, and then Blake is like as massive as a giant, and is like doing the drums, and she's like jumping on the drum to like talk to him, and she can't find the mentor, and right. So all this stuff happens, and she ends up learning, and I guess the viewer learns also that, you know, like you cannot get held up, but not unlike what your friend is saying, right? Like weakness is death, right?
I love how you keep referencing like your friend, like he's here.
He's
a thing.
He's
like,
part of you. He's absolutely
it's in my spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's fictional, and so is this young lady. I don't even remember her name, but she. I read it last week.
Right.
The big thing that I wanted to get with because I'd like you guys to check this out if you do, and anyone who knows us, like I'll lend this to you, no problem. Here's the thing,
but a great guy.
Yeah. So, as you see, as soon as you open it up, there are all of these like jazz and blues albums from like all different eras.
Nice.
And I feel like I'm getting. I don't know if this is Dave's collection or if this is something he was brought up on.
Can I see that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what he was brought up on, or if he just has an affinity for it, or maybe he knows someone who has an affinity for it. But like, I felt like I was getting a glimpse into somebody's like what they love, like as a collector, right? Like the jazz music does something for them, and so they're legible enough so that you can see the names of the titles. So what I did was, as I was reading, I threw on Spotify and I looked up these albums, and I played it in the room as I was like, because then again it was like, how do you, with music being such a specific auditory musical magical thing, how does that translate to the silent medium, right? And so I made it up, and Dave Christholm didn't tell me to do that. Nobody told me to do that. I've never heard of someone like I've never maybe Coheed and Cambria was the only example of like playing an album and a comic book and then like it will line up or something like that.
Right.
But I did that of my own volition, and man, I cannot recommend it enough. Like my roommate walked by, shout out to Esteban,
Nice.
and he was like, okay, we got the jazz, we got the trumpets, and I was like, hell yeah, dude, like this is awesome. Like,
someone else who had done that, and I mentioned it earlier in our conversation, and this might be a huge surprise to you because this was like definitely like an idol for me, big influence. Childish Gambino also did that with his Because of the Internet.
That's right, it's a screenplay.
Album. He has a screenplay. Huge fan. I bought the vinyl, all that, special editions. I have the screenplay and whatnot, and it's just like he's so monolithic to me. It's like at that time the music was just so important. I was like, okay, but I never even got the full experience. I never read the script because I know in the screenplay or whatever, he also tells you when to play these songs as you're reading it. And it's like now that time has passed, I feel like I'll never be able to immerse myself to the level I could have been, at the moment. And so it's interesting that you just did that on your own. You're just like, okay, some of these people being mentioned is like, jazz is, at least my understanding, it's not really that many words. It's like instrumentals and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I guess like blues has a lot of lyrics.
Right.
But like jazz is predominantly. That's the thing too, and what I was really happy about this was that jazz is kind of a blind spot for me. Like blues also. Like I can't like outside of those people we mentioned. You could say like Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong, but like they're like they're not known for being blues or jazz musicians. They're known for being virtuosos in their field, right?
Right.
And so like it was really cool getting to dive into these albums, and you can tell that either the writer loves or has some appreciation for jazz, because there's one character who is like the conspiracy theorist guy who knows about the blue but isn't a musician. Apparently this is like a musician thing only, and he's got like the that meme from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where the guy is like he's like his hair is crazy,
oh
and he
yeah,
has like the red
the
lines and
how these are all connected,
right, and so he knows about the blue.
Nice.
And of course everyone thinks he's crazy, but like he can connect every album and how they're all clues to those individuals going to the blue and then coming back.
Okay.
And how it's influenced. And then he'll like open up a closet and it'll just be VHS tapes and like old disc whatever. And like every time a certain musician gets into the blue, the technology kind of like statics a little bit. It like it's like and then like
nice.
that's when he's in the blue. He's in the blue right now, and like that kind of cool thing. So like just I don't know. I had a real appreciation for it. I highly recommend you check it out.
Nice.
It's like $20 at Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
Free 99 if you get it from me. Like I'll happily give this to you.
Nice.
And I did go check out Dave Chris Holmes stuff. Like he had an interview, and he was as a storyteller. I also thought he was interesting because he was talking about how he watched Interstellar by Christopher Nolan, and he was like, man, this movie would be so much more interesting if the genders of the characters were swapped. Like if it was Anne Hathaway going to space and Matthew McConaughey stayed and like grew older, that type of thing. So. He's a very interesting individual. Definitely recommend him. Yeah, that's what I got, man.
Nice.
Like I love storytelling. I love comic books. I love graphic novels, whatever you want to call it. And music. So anytime I can do the convergence of the twain,
right?
That's big for me. So
nice. I feel that. I like your thing.
Sensational.
And I like how our things this was all unplanned, by the way, guys. But if you take a look, our items are actually color coordinated with each other.
They're also blue. Yeah, look at that.
That's crazy. Nice.
Unreal.
Cool. Nice.
Well, guys, thanks for watching. I think we'll cut it here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to continue, but I think I also just want to check to make sure it's recording.
Okay.
If for nothing else, we'll have the audio off of the cameras, but
nice.
Which I should have. I said I was going to do sound audio, but here I am overthinking in front of our viewers. So
Hey,
this will be
'em.
cringe to watch back. Shut the hell up.
All right, cool.
Spencer,
That's nice.
this was a ton of fun.
Yeah, brother man.
Brother
This
man.
was
The Renaissance, my friends.
all right. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Nice.
What do you think? We'll just let it run and run our thoughts while we're just
Yeah.
sitting here.
No, I thought this was fantastic. I think this ran together well.
I didn't do a call to action. I should have been like, check us out at blah blah blah. TikTok.
Man, we don't even have anything.
Smash that
yet.
like button and punch Mr.
Subscribe.
Beast in the face.
Bro, dude, it's like all that shit can come later. That can get punched in at any time. But yeah, like I felt like we had a long conversation too, surprisingly, with such minimal things. And like now it's like cool. This is one episode, and like now it's like we know for sure next time if we get that far, then we can talk about how we met.
Yeah.
Like just hella
Oh, did you want to do that today?
I mean, I thought we would, but hey,
Okay.
we don't have to. This
Okay.
was this is fine.
I think this is a good stopping point.
Yeah.
And just to make sure that the gear is working, because like I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, if the gear isn't working, I wouldn't want us to like have to do it again and be genuine again, you know, like when we already did it.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, today's a test run. So
Okay. Nice.
but we could do like I kind of like the doors that the conversations opened as a result of having these out here.
Yes.
So it might be hard to do that all the time, because at some point you're gonna run out. We're both gonna run out of like childhood things or like, and you know, things that we're into at the time.
Well, the thing is, we keep moving forward. We're going to continually have interest in things like that. So it's like, especially at the pace of it right now, like I'm like, this is number one. I'm like, I got 12 items. Like I can bring it in here, like
Nice.
No fucking sweat.
Cool.
So it's like,
And we can have guests eventually if like people are interested. And I think this went.
yeah, this is definitely a winner. I feel it in my bones.
I'm eager to chop it up and do something with it. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, like I felt like we were in the blue.
We were in the blue. We were in the zone.
Like yeah, man. Like this, man. It's beautiful how this thing ran together.
I'm loving it. Yeah, cool.
All right.
Brother man.
Are we gonna shake hands? Or are we going? Oh,
We
what's
gonna arm
the?
wrestle?
Yeah, what's that? What's it? Hard style or whatever?
Hard
that
style,
fucking yeah.
The pose. I
Yeah.
still have our photo on my fridge of us doing that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's right up top. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Are we getting up?
Yeah,
Is
I'm
this-
gonna start tearing down. Oh, you want to do a photo? That's a great idea.
Yes, I brought
Yes.
my Polaroid. Hopefully this shit still works. And it's been so long since. And normally we have people, but it has a little thing so I can.
Oh, we could put it on like a tripod.
Yeah. Actually, unless, or I'll just get next to you.
Okay. Yeah, hell yeah. Avoid the beer next time. I was burping a lot.
Oh,
man,
dude.
I'm burping
Yeah,
into this.
same.
You
Or
don't
get
realize
something
like the
much
annoying little things
smaller.
you do until you know you're being observed on a microscopic level.
What, dude?